First off, introduce myself a little. My name is Hamamoto and I'm the CEO of Tsukasa Consulting Limited. Our company was built in 1998 and we mainly have been dealing with geographic data and railroad mapping from aerial photogrammetry and developing CAD and GIS system. When we first started, we mostly took on projects that fell through the crack of bigger companies. But now we have made it to where referred to as the main engine, or sometimes even the brain. Yet, we still have many requests to develop auto tools that could be called weapons. We are located only 10 minutes away by subway from the central Osaka area. So if you ever find yourself nearby, please get in touch with us. Since we are in charge of your valuable time, let us get started right away. The title is Three-Dimensionalization and the Practical Use of the Traditional Japanese Houses using Aerial Photography. I will be explaining these three items to you today. This year, at the SPAR2015, there are many presentations on laser scanning, so I intended to show you a way to succeed without laser scanning and compare the differences. The first will be digitizing aerial photography. To start us off, let me tell you the story of plus minus 10 centimeters. This number, you may think is great or small, is the range of error in the data from the process of creating a form of building from aerial photography called plotting. Though it could depend on the altitude, we maintain accuracy within 10 cm, not only for 2D, but for 3D data as well. The amount 10 cm is the key. The fact that we can plot from aerial photography at this accuracy is incredible. Let me briefly tell you about plotting. As you can see in these pictures, we use special equipment. We use these odd handlers you spin with both hands and these stereoscopic vision glasses. The scary man in the bottom right photo is Mr. Nishino from SASTEC and has joined us here today. Thank you for all your help. Actually, he is not scary at all, but he looks like a bad man with the glasses on. For the process of plotting, let's take a look at how it's done. This is a video of process of plotting. On the left side, you are able to input while viewing the relative height of the ground and the roof using the stereoscopic vision glasses. Then you draw the ridge line and eaves, keeping in mind the height. I guess this is called snap processing in the business, a CAD unique step of matching coordinates. Finally, you place the ground level symbol, and you are done. The actual form being created are only the roofs. Now displaying the layers, first with an aerial photograph. Road line just for reference. Building forms. Coloring. Once you've acquired the shapes and turn off the aerial photograph, you will have a basic graphic. To recap the process of digitizing aerial photographs, it allows us to utilize pre-existing funds, technology, and knowledge. I must say, benefits of being able to access 20 years of accumulated data and utilizing it are immeasurable. It can maintain the accuracy of plus minus 10 cm. That's excellent. Mobile scanning vehicle driving at 80 km per hour are promising results with the same accuracy. So I think that's pretty impressive. This means we can make a basic form from our aerial photograph using the plotting process. Next, to the second thing, I would like to tell you about the evolved hybrid method of elevating surfaces. We will be using the graphic data we just created on the left to the complete 3D image on the right. We call using roof data that appears two-dimensional to create a complete 3D version, the hybrid method. But in reality, there is a wall existing. It's been 25 years since I entered this industry, and so many people have said to me, "You've hit a wall," whenever things didn't go well. Anyway, this wall making is actually very important and difficult. Since we only created the basic 3D forms of a roof when making graphic data, we need a separate process of creating walls and building the model. As to how to do this, for example, a 2D line will automatically appear 50 cm indented from the eave line. How do we use this baseline? Let's take a look. We will be creating these things we call wall polygons. Using one of very own tools, we draw pillars from the baseline to the roof form, like this. These yellow lines are the pillars. I really think at this point you see the hybridness in our creation of a 3D model. We can even do several back-to-back. So the tool we are using automatically doing all the geometric computing, while the lines are being drawn from the ground to the roof as pillars. Nice. So now, making a wall polygons. It is be able to create walls very easily by only click pillars like this. Click, click, okay? Click, click, okay? This is very simple. Once the buildings come together, the basic graphic is complete. Let's enlarge this image and take a closer look at the details. The insides are hollow. Being hollow makes them cost efficient when being printed in 3D since there is very little mass. It accurately recreates the shapes of roofs often seen in traditional Japanese houses. As you can see, even things such as building plans can be managed as 3D contents. Moving on, I'd like to show you comparison with the laser scanning, which is very commonly used in recent years. It looks a bit like the scene where the Terminator returns. This is point group data from scanning a building model using an open source program called Point Cloud Library. It scans any object and creates vast amount of point data called point group data. But businesses in manufacturing must consider a budget. Is it worth the cost? Editing this vast amount of point group data is a lot of work, and of course takes time. It is not unusual in Osaka, where you have a great plan to create perfect model using laser scanning. And someone says, let's just go with a photo. They mean to say, if processing the point group data requires so much time, maybe it doesn't need to be vector data. If it requires time and work, that means it costs money, so no wonder. It depends on what you are trying to achieve, but try imagining it as letters and not a picture. Recognizing and forming letters scanned using OCR functions is nothing like typing each letter on a keyboard in terms of efficiency, even if you achieve the same results. I feel this is a similar comparison. To summarize, the evolved hybrid method elevating surfaces primitively create 2D using 3D CAD. It is unnecessary to sort out of the data that you would have to for laser scanned point group data. It allows you to build only what you need since you pay as you go. In our experience, a part-time worker could create about 20 buildings a day, meaning as long as there are aerial photographs, it is possible to mass produce a high-quality 3D model. Now to our third topic, I'd like to talk about the practical and modularized use of the model. The created model will not end with only few compliments on how flashy or pretty it looks after all your effort. Collaboration between the technical team and on-site procedure. In reality, on-site procedure is quite a difficult job, and they must work together. A model couldn't only be used as a visual representation, but as a solid outcome, a physical object for the end user as proof of progress. Once multiple 3D models are created, they need to be managed well for effective use. So we designed something called the M system, the letter M standing for management. We do also just call it the management system. Anyway, we make a database making it easy to precisely access the data. The format consists of a database record, and in this example shows name and addresses, and also the 2D layout of the house, along with a 3D model. It also integrates with Google Maps, which allows for fair level of information access without even having to go to the actual location. Let's take a quick look at the moment, shall we? As you can see, clicking on the record, the matching structure appears as a 2D layout. The 3D model can be turned, enlarged and shrunken. You can even shine sunlight on it, or take away the color if needed. The synchronization with Google Maps is very smooth. They move simultaneously in real time. On top of all of this, you can go into Street View to see on-site images, allowing you to stay in your office while getting a good idea of area. As long as you have a Windows PC, you can use the M system by installing a login app and connecting to an external server. Therefore, people living in more rural areas will be able to utilize it also. Since the modules and data are updated by an administrator, the user can always access the most current information. We have been receiving good feedback for this. Also, as a good example of collaboration with on-site procedure by controlling the angle of the model, you are able to instantly create different diagrams very easily from the side, from up above, and at an angle. The controlling of the angle is also done by using an in-house developed tools. Let's see how the angle can be controlled. Just like that, you rotate it using the program, and you would take a snapshot. Click, click. It could be at any angle, 360 degrees in 3 dimensions. This is also adding colors. It rotates. You will be able to print out this model that was being angle controlled onto A4 paper. This process has already been systematized, so just by placing the snapshot in the folder, you can get a PDF file, commonly known as report processing. In this case, it would be an inquiry from a structure model from 8 different angles. To add to this, the model has the accuracy of plus minus 10 cm, allowing you to output the 3D surface to Excel and apply for multiple uses. This sample was created for a solar panel simulation. There recently was a volcano eruption in Kuchino-Elabu Island, Kagoshima Prefecture. It could be applied to study and record the area covered by the ash. Planning to clean houses would be perfect. Would this be a perfect situation to provide speech support? Next to our approach on world evaluation standards, there is a phrase LOD, meaning level of development. When pursuing true quality, you will most likely come upon this phrase. In other words, world accuracy standards are divided into different accuracy levels. So it is important to understand that fine detail doesn't always make it the best choice. And we should think about different levels being suitable for different things. Here are samples of LOD 1 to 3. LOD 1 looks like this. And you can see a lot more detail on the structures. But even at LOD 3, these small parts like the edge of the roof in this case is absent. Wait a second. That model we just showed, you did it perfectly. Does that mean it's better quality of LOD 3 Plus or higher? Another area we think could help us maximize potential is the use with 3D printers when we attempt to modify the model and print it using the same method we just showed you. It was surprisingly easy. The online service DMM offers to print for 3,000–4,000 yen per structure. By ordering more, we believe to find lower prices. Now, once you put a thing like this in someone's hands, it really puts a smile on their face. Our staff even enjoyed handling these models in the early stages of making them. I imagine if we could hand a person a model of their own home, that could make their day. Finally, to list a few areas where we see many possibilities, one would be city ZML, following by urban planning, environmental maintenance, architecture, the energy sector, prevention and recovery planning of natural disasters. Also, managing of building plans and record are on the list. That is all for today. Thank you very much for your attention.